Hey everyone, it's Mama Ray. Today's episode is a little different. It's not about a headline, a case, or even a concept. It's about something that happened this week that stirred something in me. Something small on the surface, but big in meaning. After my last two episodes, I had noticed that I had lost a few followers, about 3 or 4. And I'll be honest, my first instinct was that sinking feeling in my chest, that little ache that whispers, did I say something wrong? It's funny how silence or a small number change can echo so loud inside your head, especially when your brain is wired like mine. But instead of brushing it off, I decided to lean in and talk about it. Because I know I'm not the only one who's felt this way. Whether you're a creator, an artist, or someone just trying to walk in your truth. This episode is about why loss can be a gift, how it ties into psychology and self-worth, and what it means to keep creating even when it feels like no one's listening. The emotional reaction. When I first saw my follower count drop, my brain did that thing where it plays detective and judge at the same time. I started analyzing every word I said in those last two episodes, trying to find the moment I might have lost someone's interest. That's part of being both creator and someone who lives with ADHD and autism. Your mind doesn't just notice patterns, it lives in them. Every silence feels like rejection. Every small loss feels amplified. There's a name for that. It's rejection-sensitivity dysphoria. It's when your emotional response to perceived rejection hits harder than it should. Your brain fires off alarms even when there's no real danger. Because at its core, it's trying to protect you from the old fear of not belonging. But that's what makes awareness such a superpower. When I paused and said, okay, Ray, this feeling is information, not identity. It softened something inside me. Because what if losing followers isn't about failure? What if it's about filtering? The psychology of belonging. Psychologists have long studied how humans crave belonging. It's one of our most basic emotional needs. In Maslow's hierarchy, it sits right above safety. And when we create, when we share our stories, our art, our thoughts, we're extending an invitation to belong. So when people leave, it could feel like rejection, not just of the content, but of the self. That's the tricky part about creative expression. Your work isn't separate from you. It's born from you. But here's the reframe that changed everything for me. Every time you lose someone who doesn't align, you're clearing space for the ones who will. That's not delusion. That's discernment. We're not meant for everyone. The truth will always divide before it unites. And if your art, your voice, or your message comes from an honest place, it will attract truth tellers, thinkers, feelers, and seekers. The rest, they'll drift. And that's okay. Creator psychology. For creators, especially neurodivergent ones, numbers can be emotional weather. We check analytics, like checking the sky, wondering if the storm is clearing or we're doing something wrong. But creativity was never meant to be measured that way. Before algorithms and dashboards, artists created because something in them needed to be expressed. Van Gogh died before anyone saw the brilliance in his work. Emily Dickinson wrote hundreds of poems no one read until she was gone. Their work was still holy, still necessary. And if you're listening to this right now, wondering if your voice matters, I want you to hear me clearly. Your worth is not measured in metrics. Whether 10 people listen or 10,000, your art has purpose. It ripples in ways you might never see. My own reflection. When I started this podcast, I didn't imagine it would become a spiritual and psychological journal of my own evolution, but it has. Every episode I record becomes a mirror, reflecting back what I'm learning, where I'm healing, and where I still struggle. And I've realized that vulnerability is the cost of authenticity. Every time I peel back another layer, I risk losing people. But I also deepen the connection with those who stay. It reminds me of something a professor once told me. Depth will always lose the shallow, but it will anchor the willing. That hit me hard because I've always been someone who feels deeply, maybe too deeply sometimes. But the older I get, the more I realize that depth is actually my gift. It's where my art lives. It's where my faith breathes. And honestly, I'd rather lose 1,000 who can't sit in the deep than silence my voice to keep them comfortable. Advice for other creators. So, this is for my fellow creators, writers, musicians, storytellers, the ones who question their voice every time they check their stats. I want you to remember, consistency will always matter more than virality. Your job isn't to please the algorithm. It's to keep showing up for your message. Authenticity is the only real currency left. People crave truth in a world full of filters. If you're honest, your audience will find you, even if it takes time. Reflection builds longevity. Every episode, every post, every project, it's a data point in your evolution. If you're improving, deepening, and staying aligned, then you're growing, even if the numbers don't show it yet. And maybe, most importantly, don't let the analytics kill your artistry. You are not a product. You're a person with a story, and that story will find its home in the hearts that need it. Maybe not in millions, but in meaningfuls. Faith, purpose, and alignment. I believe God allows moments like this to recalibrate us. When our validation starts to come from numbers or praise, He pulls back the applause to remind us who we're really creating for. And when that happens, The quiet can feel heavy, but it's sacred. It's the kind of silence where you hear your true self again. I think of pruning, how trees lose their leaves to survive the winter. It looks like loss, but it's actually preparation for rebirth. Maybe that's what this was for me. A small reminder that growth isn't always seen. Sometimes it's felt. The art of letting go. So yeah, I lost a few followers, but I gained something more important: perspective. And maybe you're going through something similar: losing followers, losing friends, losing a sense of belonging. If so, I hope this episode reminds you that letting go isn't the end. It's the making of you. Keep creating, keep healing, keep showing up, even when it's quiet, even when it's hard. Because your voice, your truth, is the medicine someone out there is praying for. I'm Mama Ray, and this is your reminder. You are not here to be liked by everyone. You are here to be real. And until next time, stay grounded, stay gentle, and stay true.